Welcome to Market Movers. I'm Dave Hightower, joined by Dan Bossy. Today we'll be focusing on the June acreage report due to be released on June 30th. So, Dan, estimates call for some divergence between corn and soybean acres, a little bit of change. Could shift leadership in the market. We have a patently bearish corn market set up and a little bit of hope for some kind of uncertainty in the soybean market. Does that look to change in this report?
I think, David, the total acreage will stay the same in terms of crop baseland acres. Prevent plant, will be relatively normal this year versus last year. So if you think about it, we're thinking that corn acreage, which was 97 million in the intentions, which came out at the end of March, could drop down to 95 or 96, down 1 to 2 million acres. Those acres that are lost in corn could go to soybeans. So we're looking for those acres to go from 83 and a half up to 85 or 85 and a half. Cotton acreage will be about the same, maybe down a little at 13.5 million acres, while all U.S. wheat in the United States will hold it around 45 million acres. So the focus for this report from our perspective is still the changeability in acres between corn and beans.
So if we push up soybean acres 1.5 million, that kind of adds 74.7 million bushels to it. And a lot of times in history, if you have more time, and we had a lot of time this year, especially compared to last year, and favorable weather, sometimes you can get a little bit of a surprise jump in those soybean acres.
I think that's right, David. And the spring kind of played that out where we were cool and wet in late April and early May. And I think some farmers shifted those acres because at that point, the bearishness of corn. Though it tells me that with those extra acres, if November beans gets near or above $9 without a big weather problem, it's going to probably be a rally that can't be sustained. On the other side of it, even though we've lost a few million corn acres, 95 million will still be the second largest in modern history. So again, we've lost some production, but boy, we still got a pile of corn left.
Right, and so that probably insinuates we'll need a fairly decent weather threat. And right now, we've went in the ground good. We had some minor threats in the weather, and then it kind of leveled out. And now we've really only in north in the Dakotas do we have any kind of issue.
What is, David? But you never know. The month of July is always a strange one. You and I have been in this business a long time, and just when you thought everything was good, you get a ridge or something happening. So we need to wake up every day still focusing on weather because it is going to be the big determinant of CBOT prices going forward. Without a big weather threat, December corn above 350 is probably overvalued. $9 on soybeans. I think that's areas that producers need to be looking at making sales should those rallies occur.
Well, from a shorter term perspective, if you look at how large the spec short is in corn, and you look back, and again, this is a little bit of outside macro psychology, but if you go back and look at early March when the first lockdown of the U.S. economy took place, there's a lot of panic gaps. That means when we started to destroy demand for commodities. And while those objectives are way too high, probably for the fundamentals in the grain markets, there could be some classic reflation of prices that have nothing to do with the actual internal fundamentals of grains.
David, it's always possible in our business. The movement of money is always a determinant that's difficult to forecast. And should we all find an inflationary bug, there could be some rallies that would provide that spark.
So, in my view, it looks like corn's going to be vulnerable. Maybe we go back to contract lows. Soybeans, as you indicated, they still have a threat of weather. They could still see a price reaction to the weather. As I said, I doubt that soybeans would go back to that panic gap, but that panic gap sits at $9 up to 903, and again, that's from the gap. So, Dan, we look forward to setting the acreage table here with the report on June 30th. Thanks for joining us on Market Movers. Trade well and trade smart.